starting lineup for the designated home team, the Bountiful Braves. A 6-foot senior, number 0, Isaac Kai. A 5'7" senior, number 4, David Stevenson.
Welcome into the first round of the 5A state tournament, coming to you live from the D Events Center on the campus of Weber State University. And our second game of the ball day, our second game of the day. Woo, gonna be a long one. The Harriman, the Highland. Let's just start over. The Highland Rams and the Bountiful Braves. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Dane Stewart and trying to learn the ropes of said Dusty Lister, who's at my left, also working the camera for us. He's a man of many talents. This is a fantastic first round ball game in the 5A state tournament, Highland and Bountiful.
No, it really is, and not only that, there's a lot of history. You know, if you follow our videos, you know I'm a very proud alum of Carbon High School, and very proud of where I'm from. Coach Maxwell, even though Highland was in his region for all those years, it doesn't go away. Coach Maxwell won a state championship as a player at Highland for his father, who was the head coach at Highland. The gym's named after Coach Maxwell. And anytime he plays against his alma mater, there's something new. When I asked him about it, he goes, well, we wear black a lot. Let's just put it that way. And this is a fun matchup. And not only that, if you are Bountiful, you are on red alert because Highland knows how to upset teams in the first round.
We asked Coach Maxwell about that. This is a team in Highland, a program that over the years has been a really tough out in the first round. Are you aware of that? I said, yeah, a lot of that is because of Leaky McCowan. He's a young man we will talk about over the course of this ball game as Highland comes out with a fury, but is able to be evaded by the defense of the Bountiful Braves. The Braves in their white uniforms, Highland in that great-looking black. As this is Stevenson inside to Whaley, and Whaley, a young sophomore, and he is going to be a real big key today in this ball game, really for both sides, as that ball is lost out and it will go back to the Rams.
Now, Robert Whaley is the key for, well, one, for Highland to stop, and two, for Bountiful to get going. And if they are able to get Robert Whaley going, it'll get everything else going for Coach Maxwell.
Here's McCowie, tried to kick that out. That pass was deflected. It'll stay here with the Rams. And just to your point, I think both coaches, I mean, it was the first thing they both talked about was the inside game of these two teams and how they match up. And it's going to be real interesting to watch because that is going to be a big key. Boy, nice move put on there, and Whaley will pick up foul number 1, and that's one way to do it. You get the big man Jackson Hawes on the dribble and picking up the foul on Whaley.
Yeah, you want to get him out of rhythm, out of the game, get him off the floor. And so you got to attack 35. Nice block by Brigg.
That was Oliveo with the shot, couldn't hit it, and that one gets tapped up and won't go down. That's the kind of defense that Coach Boyce is looking for. A little help from the rim is always a welcome sight for the underdog.
And this Highland team, they come off a little bit of rhythm. They had that tough, they took Olympus down to the wire, nearly got their first, had them their first L in region play in, what was it, 4 years or something like that? We did that little research. This team is playing much better, and Coach Boyce even recognizing that in our pregame conversation.
Christian Rich with the 3, couldn't hit it, and that ball is out off of Christopher Rich. Yes, so 32 for Highland is Christian Rich, 33 is Christopher Rich. So there's going to be a lot of Rich play from Highland today.
Badun Chow.
Yeah. Bountiful basketball still looking for our first points of the contest here, as this is the 12th man. Brigg Willard able to knock down the 3, and that's a great start for the experienced senior.
Yeah, Brigg Willard's been here so many times, just like McCowie, who couldn't get that one to go.
That was Olivao.
Or Olivao.
Whaley the other way. Quick points for the Bountiful Braves, and just like that, it's 5-0, and then a foul here going to be picked up by Stevenson. Be the first personal on David, the second team foul on the Braves.
Coach Maxwell told us, we asked, hey, biggest keys, he goes, got to get Robert going, we got to get Brigg going. And so right now you got Brigg and Robert with combining for the points thus far here for Bountiful. It's what he wanted. But Brigg Willard is, if he's not considered that at school, he is Mr. Bountiful to us.
Boy, good take, and Whaley does a great job of staying vertical and not picking up foul number 2. Here comes Isaac Kine pushing it. 3-pointer from Chisholm. Back of the rim, and Leaky McCowie able to secure the rebound for the Rams. You know, Dusty, over the last 2 days, you've made me look terrible in my memory regarding last year's awards. Leaky McCowie was our most unheralded in 5A last year.
Yes, he was.
I'm 1 for about 15. As Isaac Kime with the reverse, couldn't get it to go. And it's stolen away. Chisholm, numbers for the Braves behind the back to Kime, back to Cam. And Cameron Chisholm with his first points and a timeout taken by Highland. 7-0 Braves, 5:29 left in our first quarter. You're watching the 5A state playoffs on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Whether you're a parent, coach, or student athlete, knowing more about good nutrition can lead to success on the court and in the classroom. The Dairy Farm Families of Utah, Dairy West, are proud to sponsor the UHSAA state tournament. Mountain America Credit Union is the new title sponsor of the Utah High School Activities Association. Visit MACU.com for more information. And thank you, Mountain America.
Out of the timeout. Laveo with the drive. Kick out, here's Christopher Rich. McCowie, the 3, front of the rim. And the rebound is to the Braves.
Tough start here for Highland. I know, Coach Boyce, you never want to fall behind, but there's plenty of game left here for Highland. They just got to start finding a rhythm.
Boy, good find inside to Kime. And how about 4 different scorers for the Bountiful Braves here in the first 3 minutes of the contest?
I think if you ask Coach Maxwell what you like the most, right now it's the defense, but it's also the balance. If you get a bunch of guys going, it'll make this a little easier on Bountiful.
Boy, another body hit the floor. That was Christopher Rich. And then a foul on Rich as he was getting up and tried to contest from behind. It'll be the first personal on Christopher.
Right now, nothing going the way that the Rams want it to go. But if you watched our morning game, the 9:30 game, you saw Corner Canyon fall behind in the third quarter by 7, and they won that game in double digits. And now again, it was in the third quarter, down 52-45, and they went on a run.
And I think they even started that game 7-0.
They
right?
did.
I mean, they started off extremely well to start, and became a great ball game as a good block inside. And I think that was Christian Rich with the defensive play. Now controlling it for Highland is Isaac Kime. Boy, one of the really good defenders, and trying to make things difficult. Here's Haas, the step around, and there's the first bucket of the ball game for Jackson Haas.
Yeah, Coach Boyce could feel good. Their first bucket was not the easiest shot they've taken here in the first quarter.
You know what, though? I love that they continue to go at Whaley, and there's been a number of times where Whaley could have picked up that second one, and that's going to be a theme. Continue to watch. Boy, good entry to Brigg.
Yeah, great job by Brigg Willard. Take a guy down the block, go to work. A beautiful lob from Kime, making that an easy 2.
Boy, and that one nearly turned over, and then a foul going to be called here. And that's on Stevenson. That's going to be number 2. It is.
And Stevenson, that kid works his abs. He jumped right on top of the basketball there. That's some core work being done on the away from the floor there by Stevenson.
Stevenson will come off the floor having just picked up number 2. And Austin Cooper, the sophomore, checking on here. How about the teal shoes there for Austin Cooper?
Matches Kimry Martine's hot pink shoes last week in the girls tournament.
Leaky McCowie on the drive and just couldn't get it to go down, but he is fouled, and this was called on the floor. As this foul called on Willard, and that's his first. 14 fouls already for the Braves.
I feel like we're watching a Wasatch Academy game.
Inside, Oliveo. Young man that I think is going to old Utah State University, if I recall correctly.
Football, yeah.
Yeah. Backdoor cut for Kime. That pass out in front of him, and the Braves turn it over.
I think you're right.
I'm going to check it out just to make sure. Would it be good if an Aggie, didn't know his own recruiting class? But
well, if you watched our video, I'm not just saying this to you. Apparently, we believe that Gary Anderson is going to make a major difference in State of Utah recruiting.
I believe he already has.
I agree.
Three-point shot from Rich won't go. The rebound is to Willard, and yes, Oliveo is going to the Utah State University for football. As Leaky McCowie able to intercept that pass, and numbers up the floor for Highland. Brig Willard showing off the soccer skills, is able to kick that ball away before it can make it through to Nate Ward.
Let's just make sure we understand. This is the last time I'll do this. There's only one "the," and it's the Citadel.
The U?
No, it's not, because it's not in the name. The only one that has "the" in their name is the Citadel.
Boy, Oliveo has an open look. Bountiful doesn't account for him, and too strong. Bountiful with the rebound.
The way this first quarter's gone here for Highland, but you just stick at it. You stick with it, it's going to start falling.
Kine blocked away by Oliveo, and a foul coming after the shot on Bronson.
That's one of the things, and you know, I kind of said this a little bit at ad nauseum with Corner Canyon's game. Coach Lund told us, look, our team starts with our defense. And that's every coach is going to say that, and it's very, very true. And for Highland right now, the shots aren't dropping. But if you can keep posting zeros on this end of the floor, sooner or later those shots are going to get going and it'll mean something.
Tough fall away for Willard. That rebound drops to Rich, and now Christopher able to get past the defensive Chisholm. Pull up from the line, no good, left it short, and Kime with the rebound, and Bountiful up the floor. Kime taking on the Highland defense. And the Highland defense wins. Ahead to War. War couldn't keep his feet in play, and we head back with the Braves. And I mean, that's your kind of luck, right? I mean, Highland, they finally hit a shot from the floor, and it's after the whistle, it won't count.
It's just the way the quarter's gone. It's amazing the names that kind of recycle through, right? War, we had a War a few years ago.
Brandon.
Yeah. And
he had some real impressive dunks.
Yes,
he was a
did.
mainstay in our top 5.
You know, that was one of the first parents that kind of understood that if we start tweeting at these guys, the videos.
Hey, if they can start seeing what happens.
Right. If I just make sure. And that's not a knock to any parent, but it's just like he was one of the first ones that kind of got it. It's like, hey, look, if I share it with these guys, you know, we can see it and we'll probably share it and we'll use it.
Loose ball, and it is Christian Rich with the rebound. Up ahead with Christopher. Rich in the paint, and won't go down. Man, I mean, I don't know how many times you can say it. It's been that kind of a start for Highland. Up the floor quickly, and a foul here as Ethan Phillips will head to the line here to shoot a pair. I think this is going to go on McCowie. And it will. That'll be the first on Leakey.
Yeah, and it continues to happen. But the other part is they actually are playing, speaking of Highland, solid defense. So, yeah, the shot's not dropping. You got to keep putting up goose eggs on this end of the floor.
Phillips banks in the first one.
Now, this end of the floor is a totally different thing. I would zoom out and let you see it. You got the tunnel over there, so your depth perception is even more different than it is on the other end where you got seats right behind it. You got the tunnel and the entry, and they had the curtains open because the teams are coming in down the ramp.
You know, the amazing thing, that free throw has some velocity behind it. Second one much softer and able to rattle in.
So if you haven't shot without anything behind the rim, right? So if you've been playing at your stake center or wherever it is you go play, there's usually a wall right behind the bucket. You have a great perception. When there's nothing behind it, that rim looks like it's right in front of your face. It makes it much closer than it actually is, and that's why there was a little more velocity to that.
Leaky McCowie with a nice finish. Oh, good find over to Whaley. Couldn't get it to go, and a putback for Robert Whaley, and that was one of the keys for this Highland defense, and it's Whaley winning that one.
Yeah, Robert Whaley, we saw him a couple months ago actually, against Wasatch Academy, and played a great game. This young man has got a bright, bright future here in the state of Utah.
Phillips comes away with it for Bountiful, and the Braves running again. And Wilps, boy, he turned something. Boy, he is down, and that did not look good. Hope that he's okay. And that leg just gave out on Ethan Phillips. The trainer going to come over and have a look.
Substitutions for number 4, David Stevenson, number 0.
We're going to step aside here while they look at Ethan Phillips. We'll be back 27 seconds left here in our first quarter.
Injury timeout.
Phillips is up, but he can't put any weight on that right leg, and we don't have replay, and even if we did, I don't know if we'd show it. It just collapsed. I mean, he tried to jump stop underneath the rim to catch that ball and just went down. Certainly hope that he's okay. Now it's starting to put some weight on it. Good to see. Young man able to try to walk it off here. I thought he'd head back to the locker room, but it looks like he'll just settle on the bench.
To be 16 to 18 years old again and have your tendons and things
functioning,
bend and go back.
Yeah, yeah. So Highland basketball here. 25 seconds left in our first quarter. Oliveo left again, and a defensive miscue, and 4 points now for Bronson.
Keep running your stuff. It's going to work.
It's 15-8. And it's Highland coming away with it. McCowie will get it off. It's good if it goes, and it just hits the front of the rim. That close to end of the first quarter with an exclamation point, but the Ram offense starting to wake up here. 15-8, the Braves lead after the first quarter. You're watching the 5A state tournament on live.ksl and desertnews.com with commentary brought to you by Intermountain Tosh.
Reach out to the folks at the shirt stop at the B Event Center today. The Deseret News sponsors the team trophies for all UHSAA championships. Stats and standings are available at maxfronts.com, the official stats partner of the UHSAA. The UHSAA uses products from Wilson Sporting Goods. For athletes to perform their best, they require the best. And that's what Wilson has delivered for over 100 years. Learn more at wilson.com. Into the Highland lineup, number 25, 80 straight. Number 32, Christian Rich.
Start of the second quarter. 15-8, the lead for the Bountiful Braves. As a handoff, Willard will get to Chisholm coming around the curl, and Cam Chisholm able to hit it. Good sign for the Bountiful faithful to get their best shooter going here early.
Yeah, Coach Maxwell told us, he talks to Cam about, hey, you got to take it when we got rhythm, and we got momentum, and that's a terrific momentum shot there by Cam Chisholm.
Here's Aiden Straight, now near side with Oliveo. High post for Haas, hands back off with Leakey, and boy, that one shut down. 3 Braves there to take away the drive from Leakey McCowie. 3-pointer from Rich, this one was long. Offensive rebound from Straight. McCowie now will square up the 3. Leakey McCowie, a 3-point field goal for Highland.
That's just great patience from Highland High School. Not going to force anything offensively. Wait till you get the right shot, and Leakey buries the triple.
Boy, Stevenson with a great take, and then the steal away from Leakey. Chisholm the 3.
You gotta continue to play, and nice job there. Stevenson coming away with that rip after the turnover, or pardon me, the rebound. And just go after it and get the ball back.
McCowie another 3. This one off the front of the rim, and Chisholm. It was Sky in for the rebound up the floor quickly, and some contact there. No whistle. Stevenson able to keep the dribble going. That pass deflected by McCowie, able to be saved in. Willard thought about the 3, then thought better of it. And now Bountiful willing to show some patience here.
A little more old school Coach Maxwell. When we first came on the scene, Coach Maxwell was very much a half-court set.
Willard the three, skipped across.
But then again, the whole state was.
Yeah. Those were different days, huh?
Everybody but Mike Connors.
How about Haas for three? Jackson Haas with a made three-pointer. And boy, if you can force Robert Whaley out of the paint, things really open up for some of these guards for the Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. And what they're doing right now, hitting the three, you're spreading out that floor and really, I won't say negating, but lessening Whaley's impact.
Great job by Straight as Kyman made a break to the basket and Straight able to deflect it.
Now let's remember from that first game, your three-pointer cannot be the mainstay of this offense. It has got to be the color within the lines that you draw with your solid half-court set, getting the ball toward the rim. If you're depending on the three, it's just not going to stick around the entire game.
It is Kime picking up the foul, his first.
Now, I haven't seen the box score from that Wasatch game, but out of yesterday's games, no single team made a total of 10 three-pointers.
Yeah, I think Wasatch maybe did.
They got close.
It's close. It is close.
But I'm going off the head because I remember thinking that maybe Harriman or someone else did, but they got to 9.
Yeah. McCowie to inbound, gets it in with Oliveo. War, pull up inside the three-point line, good for Nate War. And look out, the Highland offense here, Dusty,
yes,
starting to hit some shots.
Well, that's what we talked about in that first quarter, that if you just weather the storm, keep playing solid defense, your offense will catch up. And if you're putting zeros on this end of the floor, putting up 2s and 3s on the other, that's what you're wanting.
A steal from McCowie. Nearly gave it away, but McCowie able to regather. Hey, the Rams can get back to one possession here. McCowie on the drive, going up strong. Great take by McCowie.
Leaky McCowie. I mean, that's a grown man's two right there. Goes right into the defender in the nickel and able to absorb the contact and finish.
Nickel on the roll, and Parker Nickel with the finish, his first field goal today.
Speaking of grown man, oh, nice steal by Kime.
Nickel, a great defensive end for the Bountiful Brave football squad, as Isaac Kime with the finish off the steal. Inside foul, this is on the floor, bucket won't count. I think it'll be on Kime, and that'll be number 2.
At every other level, he's pumping his chest and flashing the name of his team.
Yeah, well,
instead, we're on the baseline, which is, you know, I get it.
I mean, the other end of that, if you do that at this level, then you get a technical. So, you know, it's probably better. Boy, tough fadeaway there for Christian Rich, and able to hit it. And that's a young man, if you're Bountiful, you do not want him to get going, because he can absolutely shoot the ball, the transfer from Olympus.
Wait, an Olympus kid knows how to shoot the basketball.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
I think last year, remember they did the free throw contest and stuff, and I think we'll have that again in the semifinals of championships.
Yeah.
I remember I made the joke the kid made like, what was it, 26 of them?
Yeah.
In that time, I was like, yeah, and he got cut.
Olivea with the putback and the foul, count it good, and this is going to be number 3 on David Stevenson.
Look, there's schools that just have a tradition. Mountain Crest never believes that they're out. If they're losing 60-0 with 40 seconds left, they believe they're going to win a game. That's just the way it is at Mountain Crest, right? At Highland, it is blue-collared hustle plays all the time, and that's what we're seeing right now that's helping them. And you're seeing it right now. Olivao on the backside of that board, staying alive, getting it and putting it in.
And look out. I mean, we talked about what was a disastrous start for this Highland offense. They couldn't break the rim, and all of a sudden, Dusty, it's a 1-point ball game. Stevenson on the bench with 3, and you've got Isaac Kime with 2.
And again, Coach Maxwell knew it, and apparently he warmed up a little bit. The jacket came off.
Just had to get that blood flowing a little bit, huh? Robert Whaley with another putback. 6 points now for Whaley.
So you get nervous as a coach, and you're like, okay, they're making a run. What are we going to do? But when you got Robert Whaley, it's like, right, this is our offense, guys. Get the ball into 35 and let them go to work.
I love that Jackson Haas is having that ability to step up today. 7 points for that young man in a game where he has to be big in the paint against one of the best up-and-coming bigs in the state.
No, absolutely. And Robert Whaley, we talked about this ceiling is extremely high. Now, I can't confirm it's why he's here. I know Dave Rose is in the building, and I would guess the 35 is the reason why.
Oh, that is a pretty good tie-up by Christian Rich, but the official disagreed, and Christian going to pick up his first personal.
That's a tough one. I thought Rich got right on top of the ball.
I did too. I thought that was a great defensive play.
Now, I mentioned Coach Rose being here and Robert Whaley. Part of the reason that could happen, now granted, coaches get to hear about players and they know they have their reasons. We did the game Bountiful at WATCHit Academy. Lee Camard was there. Why is he there? Watching Richie Saunders, trying to keep that relationship because Saunders was a kid that they had offered and he committed as a freshman.
Whaley had a game.
And who had a ball game?
Whaley.
35.
Yeah. Went
absolutely ballistic. The positives that come from playing in those games, one, you get to see what competition looks like. Two, you get in front of coaches that might not know you.
Yeah.
And let them see it.
You know, Dusty, that's a great thought. And, you know, we always try to make this about the kids. He might be here to recruit you, my young man. He was like, hey, there's a play-by-play guy over there, although today he's doing color. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry.
You know, it's because we're multifaceted.
Maybe we can package deal that sucker. Huh?
Yeah, always.
Whaley goes 1 of 2 at the line.
Went from one platform to another together.
Dusty J just got easier. He went from doing 2 jobs to just having to do 1 now. It's a 3-point try from War. That one was off the front of the rim. Bountiful with the board. Here comes Brig Willard.
Yeah, important there. I was going to say Olival went for that steal. And important for Highland just to continue to play defense. And for Bountiful, got to string together more possessions.
You know, here's the other thing. When talking about this Highland team, you think about how aggressive they've been defensively today. Only 4 fouls. I mean, they have done a great job of playing D, exhibit like 493 today without fouling. Christopher Rich was short on his 3-point try. Here comes Kime. How about Oliveo giving chase and knocking that away? Another great defensive play for the Rams.
Oliveo go cut that off. They throw that ahead to Kime, and Kime able to track that down. I thought maybe he would go a little return pattern, maybe wait, find a cutter, and let Robert Whaley go tear the rim off the backboard. But also thought maybe get fouled. But a great job, Oliveo, not fouling him and knocking the ball out of bounds.
Inbounded, and there is Chisholm for the point. 7 in the quarter, 9 in the contest for Cameron Chisholm as he now leads all scorers.
Look, he doesn't just have to shoot threes. Cam Chisholm, that can be the mainstay of your repertoire, but look at the kid. He moves to the basketball and does little things for his team.
And it is Haas that's found underneath on the play.
Nice job of Haas. Whaley got lost a little bit on that defensive move. And Haas getting rewarded for the good defense he's put on the other end of the floor.
Foul here on the play. It's going to go on Christian Rich, his second. And it's going to send Brig Willard to the line here, shooting 2.
Shooting 2 shots will be Brig Willard.
First for Brig won't go down. And
Substitution number 21 Ward.
tell you what, Highland's got to feel pretty doggone good. We're 139 away from the locker room and the response they've had. And we've seen Bountiful, their pace slow up here a little bit in the second quarter. It's a 19-14 scoring advantage for Highland in quarter number 2 as Brig able to hit his second.
No, absolutely, you got to feel good, and Brig able to split that. How good is it to see Brig Willard be able to run up and down the floor without any pain?
Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't be a Brig Willard game unless at the end of the game he's got a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up because of how hard he plays.
Oliveo.
I mean, he is Austin Haas 13 years later. He wears the same number.
Nice patience by Oliveo, able to get Willard in the air, and Bronson now with 9.
Olivao done all the little things in this quarter. Played defense, moves out the basketball, gets an easy 2, and it's what's getting Highland going.
Contact there from Christopher Rich. Highland doesn't like the call, but I thought it did push Chisholm off of his line. And drawing the call, it'll be the first, I believe, on Rich. Nope, second. 2 on Christian, 2 on Christopher, and 2 shots here for Chisholm.
You know, we bang on officials a lot. We didn't show it on the screen. Leaky McCowie walks over to the official and said, what would I do? And he actually explained it to him. That's, to me, that's part of being an official, right? Like, what did I do? All right, let me tell you. Here's why. and give the kid something to learn and take a note. And that's also head up on Leaky McCowie.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, when you look at officials and, in sports we often talk about coaches being teachers. And I think officials have that opportunity to be teachers as well. Well, here's what you did, and here's how you can't do that, or this is how you need to go about that. And, I appreciate officials that are willing to engage in those conversations with athletes to help them understand what they did so they can be better, rather than being the ultimate police and don't talk to me. And anyway.
Yeah, the hand up thing doesn't work very well.
Yeah, I don't love that. Inside of 30 seconds left in the first half, Highland looking content here to take the last shot. And with the way this first half has gone, I don't blame them. Shoot, they can take a lead here.
Yeah, no shot clock in Utah High School basketball, so getting that ball around 50 seconds, they could take this thing down. But, what the Rams have done this second quarter, Dane, all kinds of momentum.
Bountiful came up to be aggressive. The kick out, it's a three from War. War able to hit it. Kime at the horn, this one off the shot clock. Just like that, the Rams claw back, and they have found a way to head to the locker rooms with the lead. It's 32-31, Highland at the half. You're watching the 5A state tournament on live.ksl and deseretnews.com.
And now, please welcome the Bountiful Mandanas, the 5A Drill Team State Champions, under the direction of Candace Bennett and Kelly Breckenridge. Today, they'll perform their award-winning military routine. And now our halftime continues with a performance by the Highland High School cheerleaders. In today's first game, Corner Canyon defeated Wasatch 75-64. Corner Canyon will meet the winner of this game at 7:30 p.m. Thursday night in the quarterfinals of the 5A tournament. Your attention, please, with the scorekeepers for Woods Cross and Olympus. Please bring your books to the head table. Woods Cross and Olympus scorekeepers, please bring your books to the head table. UHSAA is proud to partner with Dairy West, comprised of dairy farm families throughout Utah. Get $75 when you open a MyStyle checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. With MyStyle checking, you'll earn rewards, like gift cards, cash back, event tickets, and more.
Start of the second half here in the 5A Boys State Tournament first round game. Bountiful and Highland, and Dusty. Wow, I mean, 2 different quarters for the Highland Rams in that first half.
That song was perfect for what Highland was. They were the Joker and the thief in the night, all in the first half.
Well, they start as a thief in the night here in the second half, as it's Christian Rich on the inside again. And man, I mean, if you're Bountiful, I'm sure the message was, hey guys, we got to get back to playing defense and start executing on the interior. They've fallen in love a little bit, trying to get some of these jump shots to go from outside of 15, 17 feet.
You know, as you get older, you start realizing the things that your coaches told you that they were true. You know, like, hey, play defense, it'll get our offense going. Get off me, like, we're gonna go score. And that's really the difference, right? and that's really, as you get older, you start realizing how true that is.
When Whaley hung his head after that miss, and not something you'd want to see if you're Coach Maxwell, as Oliveo, it ends up being a 3-on-1, and Bronson able to convert.
All of a sudden, Bronson Oliveo in that end of that second quarter got things going, and Coach Maxwell, frustrated that his message did not get through at the half, need to get a timeout now.
Yeah, going to take an extra 30 seconds on halftime here. Timeout, Bountiful, 36-31.
I also want to remind you that our scoreboard throughout the week, as always, Dane and I are always brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. The scoreboard this week's a new sponsor for us, that is Heidemann and Associates. Look, this is a full-service law firm that is dedicated to winning for its clients. No matter if you need help with drafting a will for your estate planning, protecting your business, even personal injury, they want to win for you. Give them a call at 801-472-7742. And, of course, we want to thank Justin Heidemann, the name partner of Heidemann and Associates, for his support of Deseret News Rewind.
Yeah, we couldn't do this without our viewers, and appreciate all those who chime in to watch and follow our content, and those who help provide sponsorships here to help bring you state playoff coverage of the 5A basketball tournament here from the D Event Center, Weber State University. Out of the timeout, see what Bountiful has drawn up here as Whaley has positioning on Haas if they can get it to him, but a good job along the perimeter as Brig Willard just throws that one up, and Stevenson able to get under it. Stevenson playing with 3 fouls. Whaley, good work down low, but man, what a game today for Jackson Haas, huh?
And he's done a great job, and it takes me back to a conversation with David Evans yesterday. Talking about playing Matt Van Comey is, look, you got to stay on him. You can't give him any air room, and that's right now the issue for Whaley.
Quick trigger from Chisholm. He never got set up. He nearly caught and shot that ball without ever coming down, and it's Highland back the other way. A block from Whaley, and then that one swatted right in the face of Kime, and it's Bountiful on the run. Stevenson around Oliveo, a tough finish in the foul here. Going to be called on Christian Rich. That's number 3 on the senior.
On Highland bench, very lucky the officials weren't looking back. There were a number of players out beyond the three-point line, but that one's different. They're frustrated with the no call on Whaley. This one here is a lot different. Stevenson's coming back, the defender's coming into him. Whaley was coming toward the offensive player while the player was going away from him. 2 different calls. That's like complaining about Jesse James for the Steelers and Zach Ertz with the Eagles and the touchdowns. 2 different things.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a couple car rides.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time in vehicles together. we both know real key tenets of our sports foundations. All I know is Highland fans right now are like, well, ball don't lie.
Right.
You may have called the foul, but they're making the case there was not one, as both free throws missed. Double team coming backside from Chisholm, and it's Rich able to beat it, but he can't get it to go. Second try, count it good for Christian.
Right now, the stick-to-itiveness of Highland is working. Now the difference, remember Wasatch built that 7-point lead in game 1 against Corner Canyon. The difference on this one, Dane, is it's built on points in the paint, and that will continue to come. The threes from Wasatch built that lead in the last game, and you knew that was going to dry up. But right now for Highland, it's points in the paint and hustle.
And it's 38-31 Highland. We continue to say Highland has that ability. I don't know what it is about the first round of these state tournaments. But you know, you can go back in the regular season. They took Olympus to overtime.
Yeah.
In that ball game. Late in the year, I don't remember if it was the last one or second to last, it was late in the year. And that kind of had you the feel of like, okay, maybe they've figured out who they are. Is a great play on the interior again by number 11, Jackson Hawes, able to take it away.
And Nickel lost that ball going up and just tried to flick it up, get it on the rim. And right now, everything going the way of the Highland Rams. And you mentioned it, and I've called the last 2 first-round wins over Timpview. I mean, this is part of the deal for Highland.
Christopher Rich, his first field goal tonight, and the lead, the biggest of the game for the Rams. And Dusty, I don't know what the run was to close out the first half, but we've played almost half the third quarter, and Bountiful hasn't scored.
They haven't scored. They had a couple shots at the rim that couldn't drop, and I think right here, Brig Willard's got to get going.
There you go. And I love that. You go back to your experienced senior, guy who's been here before, who's made big plays for you, and just try to find some rhythm on offense, and Brig from the junction able to hit it.
Yeah, if he can get that little Dwayne Wade 2006 finals step back J going, good things will happen.
Guess who drew it? Brig Willard.
Well, Mr. Bountiful steps in, takes a charge after hitting that shot. Now you got to come back and put a bucket on the board.
So that's the third team foul on Highland. No team fouls on Bountiful, and a 30-second timeout taken here by the Highland Rams. 4:15 left in the third, 40-33. The Rams out in front.
Stop by your nearest Jimmy John's location and try their new 9-grain wheat sauce. Made with the best of the best ingredients and made fresh every day in store. Now available at a Jimmy John's near you. WATCHit, Jimmy John's.
Been an 8-2 third quarter advantage for the Rams, leading to a 7-point lead here. Of course, hit a big three at the end of the second quarter to go into half from Nate War. See if Bountiful can get back to finding their offense. Here's Brig going to take a long three. Brig Willard able to connect.
And that's the guy, I don't know if it's true or not. I would believe everyone looks to Brig Willard as a leader for Bountiful. And 5 straight points, draws a charge. The 3 biggest plays for Bountiful have been turned in by number 10.
LaVale had that one lost in traffic, and the Braves out on the run. Chisholm a transition 3. Rimmed out, tapped out, and here comes McCowie for Highland. Going to slow things up. Chisholm had him. Boy, he had his radar on him, and Cam Chisholm with the foul, his first.
I just think back to our conversation with Coach Maxwell before the game. We talked about Cam. He's like, take the right time, take it the right time, take it the right time. And he missed the 3. And I don't think it's the wrong shot. And even going for that still in the wrong one. So I just wanted to watch Coach Maxwell. And he just gets up and kind of claps his hands, telling him, hey, just keep going. Because you're seeing the effort on the floor from Bountiful. I don't think it's a lack of effort at all. Maybe a little focus, but not a lack of effort.
Look at inside, and Ward tried to tap that over Stevenson. That's a nice job by Stevenson, making that interior for Nate Ward a little sticky. 4-point lead here. The winner of this game moves on to the quarters where they face Corner Canyon. And boy, that'd be interesting. Highland Corner Canyon was that first round matchup last year. And Bountiful Corner Canyon, a rematch from tournament earlier this year.
And that's the thing, is that they all know each other really well. It's a nice job. Again, good defense by Highland. And Nickel right there waiting for it.
Boy, the defense collapses down and just no one there for the rebound. It was one of the things Coach Boyce talked about from Highland. Said, look, a lot of Whaley's points come on second chance. We've got to do a good job of rebounding this ball game. As this ball up ahead, Chisholm able to lay it in, and Bountiful able to claw back and tie things up here, and that's going to force Coach Boyce to take a timeout. 40 apiece, 2:38 left here in the third. You're watching the 5A State Playoff on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Visit MaxPreps.com for stats, schedules, rosters, and more. Max Preps, America's source for high school sports.
A 9-0 run put on by the Bountiful Braves here in the last 2 minutes, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Yeah, I really believe that Coach Maxwell took one of those timeouts and he said, hey guys, what we got to do? Just brig them. And let Brig Willard go to work. And he sparked it, sparked this 9-0 run.
Yeah, his offense, and then of course took the charge. He's had a couple good plays on the defensive side as well. Number 10 for Bountiful. Starting to lead his team the way he has done for years.
A 3-year starter for Coach Maxwell. There's been a number of those guys over the years.
McCowie, the 3 short, the putback by War. It runs in the blood in the War family.
Yes, it does. Although older brothers say, hey, I would have dunked that one. But a great job of moving, staying aware, crashing the glass, and getting the putback.
Good defense in the post there by Christian Rich, and just threw that one away. Numbers for Bountiful.
And finally, Bountiful able to score off that left block. It has not worked. There's been something cursed on that left block, that far block. And finally, Brig able to break through with that little layup.
Yeah, imagine a shot chart, huh?
It's all near side right now.
Boy, great reach by Nickel, able to disrupt after it looked like McCowie had a lane to the backside.
And Nickel stole that quick little screen pass there. You think about the football players that have had success, Coach Maxwell, Garrett Buchanan last year, and Nickel this year, both defensive ends.
First personal here on Nate War. It's one of the odd things. I mean, to think about, how long Coach Maxwell has been here at the basketball program, and of course Larry Wall built that football program, and man, to think Bountiful football without Larry Wall, and what would basketball be like without Coach Maxwell?
What would Bountiful be like without either of them?
Right. Is Robert Whaley able to get that second chance again? And again, it's that second chance where Whaley able to come through for the Braves inside of a minute to go here in the third.
And reclaim the lead. I mean, you look at what they've done in this last little bit, this 11-2, 11-3 run.
I think it was 40-31.
Thank you.
Right? So 13-2. Well, that'll help. Christian Rich able to hit the 3. 9 points now for Christian.
Dane, all we needed to do was get to the 5A tournament. And you look at these two teams in the seesaw. Oh, what a move by Brig. No.
I thought he had a lane. I thought he could have taken that to the rim and finished. Tried to give it to Whaley and got caught too many steps.
And Coach Maxwell, he said, you just took a top 5 play from the Deseret News guys in the Mr. Official, one of the good ones. I think he's probably right. I think he was probably right. He's like, yeah, you just took a top 5 play away. He's like, I know. He's pats him on the back.
You not think it was travel?
No, I just said he probably got it right.
Oh, okay. It was a turnover. Chisholm underneath, tough finish. And that's Haas able to gather.
Missed opportunity there, Cam Chisholm, and now for Highland executing down the stretch, which they've done at the end of both quarters, much like Wasatch in the first game of the day.
Inside of 10 seconds. Haas picked up his dribble. Here's Rich, a long 3. Oh, nearly went. Stevenson with a heave-ho, and that'll do it for 3 quarters. The Highland Rams nursing a 45-44 lead after 3. Fourth quarter coming up next here in the 5A state tournament. The stream had some technical issues here at Weber State University. It's been an 8-2 quarter, and Jackson Haas has 6 of those points. Just went 1 of 2 at the line to help push this lead up to 7. And for Bountiful, oh boy, I think maybe could have had a foul there on Whaley of an offensive, but I think that is trying to equate things.
Well, first, I thought it was a great no call. Shane Singer, that's the official. I thought it was a terrific no call because he absolutely the defender tried to bait him into it. Whaley's got all these foul momentum and everything else. But here's the biggest thing for Whaley. He cannot get a layup to drop right now.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. I think there was good positioning defensively. I thought Whaley took a bit of a power dribble into him. I thought you could have called a charge. I'm not saying you should have. I
Yeah.
think you could have, right?
Sure. But I was just saying, I thought it was a great no call.
Yeah.
I thought it was, because I completely agree with you. But I also believe that that a defender,
I think it was
Rich, was absolutely baiting the call for good reason.
Boy, and Bountiful has done a good job of bringing that press up, installing a little bit of pressure on Highland. They have forced some extra possessions of it, but Highland able to get it across the timeline. And a drive here by Olival, blocked away by Brigg. Mr. Brave himself.
You know,
Just brigged him.
He did brig him. And this is, I say this only because of the aggressiveness you can play. Nichols right now might be a good option for Coach Maxwell because Whaley cannot contest Haas out above the three-point line. But as Highland lost the ball out of bounds.
I think if I'm Bountiful, I may be giving that one more time. Haas hit the one. He hasn't had a perimeter shot since. But how about this? I mean, if you came into this ball game and you said, who's going to be the leading scorer in the contest? I don't think many people would have thought Jackson Haas. He's tied for the lead. And then he had a block there, but we'll pick up the foul, and Brigg Willard will go to the line here.
Yeah, Brigg take out hard to the hole. Great job of Haas of getting to the rim and contesting that one. Got him with the body. It'll be Brigg with 2 free throws.
Timeout, 30-second timeout taken here by Coach Boyce and the Highland Rams.
And I want to remind you that our scoreboard is always represented by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. The scoreboard brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. They're a full-service law firm that's dedicated to winning for their clients. No matter if you need help with drafting a will, take care of your estate planning, protecting your business, or even a personal injury, they want to win for you. Give them a call at 801-472-7742. And always, always, always want to thank Justin Heidemann, a fellow Carbon Dino, willing to come on and support Deseret News Rewind. Does a great job. Someone that's absolutely reputable, but does a terrific job. We want to thank you for his support.
Timeout here. The Braves trailing by 5. Dusty, I mean, if you're in the Bountiful huddle right now, what are you telling the Bountiful Braves?
Just keep going to the hole. We got to keep going to the hole. Robert, keep doing your thing. It'll be okay. And on the other end, defensive end, we have got to sink in. Not going to win this game without defense. Trailing by 5, you got to get zeros on this end. And on the other end, you got to just run our stuff.
For the second day now, we had a cheerleader go down. They were doing some tumbling, and I didn't quite see what had happened, but good to see she's up and okay.
And, of course, training staff from the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital there.
There's a reason why we recommend them, folks.
Yeah.
The best in the business. They were right on the spot.
And, yep.
So Brigg Willard now heading to the line here to shoot 2 after the foul. And to your point, you talk about working the ball inside. 16 fouls on Highland here. So Bountiful going to be shooting the rest of the way. Bountiful with 5 team fouls. So they just have the 1 to give. And Brigg sees that one rim out.
You got to make these if you're Bountiful. And if I'm Coach Boyce on the other end, it's like, guys, keep running our stuff. Keep doing what you're doing because it is working.
Well, certainly defensively. I mean, they have really slowed up the pace of Bountiful, made them work and work extremely hard. Now Bountiful trying to do the same thing. We've talked about how they've brought that full court pressure in this second half. McCowie was washing machine on Stevenson.
It was interesting before the game.
Rich. And it's Brigg able to get the big rebound for Bountiful. Brigg up the floor in the paint. Nice move by Willard off the glass. Mr. Bountiful continues to score here in the fourth quarter. 5 of the 7 points for Bountiful coming from Brigg.
And that's the other thing if I was Coach Maxwell. Hey, put the ball in 10's hands and let 10 make decisions.
Well, you know, the other thing, he brings that ball up the floor. He doesn't get picked up to the free throw line. So he's already getting great penetration against that defense before there's even a man on him.
You know, that was the thing that Jerry Sloan taught. Always push the ball to the circles. If you can push the ball to the circles on that defense, all of a sudden now you create angles anywhere on the floor.
McCowie being defended by Stevenson, has to give it up. Here with Christopher Rich. Now to Christian, gave a little pump fake, defended by Chisholm. 2 of the better three-point shooters on the floor, and this one thrown up, and a foul going to be called. I think this will go on Chisholm. It'll be his 3rd. And it will send Christian Rich to the line here, the senior with 9 points in the contest. We've seen some free throw shooting go a little dry here in this second half.
Yeah. Well, right now, these are the ones that really, really matter. There's the shots taken, right? You go get those shots, and you're grabbing leads, you're doing things, and now it's a stretch of, all right, we're closing this thing out. That's where pressure becomes a lot different.
3-point lead for Highland, approaching the 3-minute mark. Brigg maybe got away with a little bit of a hop as Chisholm's shot was no good. Highland pushing the ball up the floor here. Here's Christopher Rich. He'll draw the foul on Willard. Willard didn't like the call, but that's number 3 now on Brigg.
3 on Brigg, that's 7th on the Braves, so it'll be 1-1 free throws.
That's the full personal on Willard, and the set up feedback on the board. Shooting 1-1 will be Chris Rich.
It'll be 1-1 now for Rich as Bountiful just hit with their 17th foul, and Christopher makes his first. Second free throw for Christopher Rich is good. 2 big free throws for the Rams to push this back up to 2 possessions.
A big 3 minutes here for the Braves this season. It's got a lot of promise in it. 3 minutes from ending. Stevenson,
A big made 3 for David Stevenson, his first point of the ball game. A young man been settled with foul trouble, and that one nearly intercepted by Kime, but it will stay with the Rams.
A great hustle there by Kime. But again, this full court press, I love the idea from Coach Maxwell. No reason to try to win it in the last possession if you can force multiple possessions and try to get the lead.
Chisholm comes out on Christian. Nearly knocked away. Rich right at Wade. What a finish. Boy, living on a prayer, and that one gets answered. Somehow he gets that up and over Whaley.
Well, Whaley trying to give him a little bit of distance not to pick up the 4th foul, and somehow got that over him anyway and got it to drop is the biggest thing.
And a turnover, and Brigg nearly able to get it back, but instead going to be called with a foul, and that's the 4th on Brigg Willard. But how about Jackson Hawes once again coming up with the ball in the paint?
Yeah, Willard trying to dish that off to Whaley, and Hawes with the high hands able to pick that off. And I thought it was a clean steal there by Willard, but might have got into Hawes when the ball was loose. And now the senior going to try to ice this thing.
Makes the first. 7 points in the quarter for Jackson Hawes, and now 16 in the game.
Just clutch here by 11. He's played great today.
You know the incredible thing? With a week to go, we didn't know if Highland was going to make the state tournament.
Right.
They're 2-12 away from knocking off the Region 5 champion Bountiful Braves. 6-point contest.
And not only that, one of the favorites of the top half of this bracket.
Willard trying to work, can't get the finish. It was Christian Rich with the defense in the paint. Now Stevenson trying to haggle him, throws up the no-look, nearly went down. Batted around, and it's Leaky McCowie and Coach Boyce saying, get out, take some time off here. And a foul going to be called on Stevenson. That's number 4 on the senior guard.
Remember how this game started and nothing but drop from Highland? Now anything they throw up is getting to the rim. How is that? I mean, that's just the way the game goes. You keep going. You keep pushing, you keep fighting, you keep getting the ball to the rim. Sooner or later, that tide's going to turn.
For anyone who's going through a tough time, have them go watch this game. Say, hey, you're just in the first quarter, man. Keep going, because what the Rams have really turned around in the last 3 quarters of this game, I don't think, been impressive. I was going to say, I don't think people saw it coming. Certainly didn't look like it was going to go this way in those first 6 minutes.
No, absolutely not. And it's just the stick-to-itiveness and the mentality of Highland, especially when it gets to the last week of February.
2 for 2 for McCowie. The lead now 8, and Bountiful in trouble. Stevenson gets around McCowie. Olivao with the foul here. as he came over on the help. We'll send Stevenson to the line.
A great take there by Stevenson. Olaval coming over, and Highland not quite out of the woods yet. They're gonna have to make free throws. It'll be double bonus after these free throws.
No, just 7 on the Rams.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry, I gotcha. The Braves. Yeah, you said not out of the woods yet for Highland. So
Highland's out of the woods, but they're gonna have to get done at the free throw line. But they will be shooting 2 free throws.
Thank you. You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow. By that I mean me. But another missed free throw here for Bountiful.
Yeah, you got to make free throws down the stretch, and right now Bountiful leaving points at the stripe.
Second free throw for Stevenson, good.
Tell you what, Olympus is already in the building, and then Coach Matt Barnes looking at the scoreboard. I know he's saying, I don't want to see these guys on Friday. Like, this can't happen.
McCowie able to handle the pressure.
Well, he might have gotten fouled and no call.
Saw a jersey tug there. Typically that doesn't happen due to gravity. McCowie trapped, able to pass out of it, and they've got Olaval underneath. Boy, Bountiful becoming so aggressive, they just leave the rim, and Olaval able to sneak there and an easy finish. Shouldn't say easy, never easy when you're the 4 seed with a lead over the 1 seed. As Cameron Chisholm with a nice drive to the rack and a timeout taken. 1 minute left here in the 4th. We'll be back with the conclusion of this first round game in the 5A state tournament. One minute remaining in regulation. And the Highland Rams didn't need all of that timeout. They were out ready for the Bountiful Braves. Bountiful needing to create some extra possessions. There's one. Cameron Chisholm with the interception. Ahead to Brigg, and it's batted and it's taken by Christopher Rich. And then a foul on Brigg. At least that's where he pointed initially, and if it is, Brigg is done.
Just an unfortunate thing, and isn't that the day since Bountiful took that lead 42-40? Isn't that been the way this game has gone? Make a great play, Highland made a better play. And for Brigg Willard, I'm not trying to get emotional, but that'll be it for Brigg, and it'll be the last time Brigg will be putting on the red, white, and black of Bountiful High.
Well, he'll need some help if he wants to put it on again in a game. Trailing here by 7. But, I mean, you look at where the offense has come from tonight. They're 57 points. He has 18.
Yeah, I mean, just one of those kids that we've enjoyed watch play. And the main reason is that he's not, at least from our vantage point, much of a talker other than his play. He plays hard. He plays multiple sports. And he's a multi-year starter. He's someone we've gotten to know by watching him, and it's always bittersweet. We talk about this all the time. We do this because we enjoy it, and we love covering these kids. And a lot of it is getting to watch guys like Brigg Willard play as hard as they do. But it's also for days like today where Highland, Dane, just does. If they're a 4 seed in the tournament, you don't want to be the 1 seed.
Well, I'm at a point where it's like you just don't want to see Highland in the first round. I mean, throw seeds out. I don't care if they're, you know, the 22nd seed next year. You don't want to see Highland in the first round. And how about Leaky McCowie just able to work around nearly the entire Bountiful Brave defense before being fouled. And he's got 2 free throws here to seal this one up. So for Highland, it looks like, should things hold, barring a miracle, they're going to have Corner Canyon in the second round. And I would presume they feel like some unfinished business, a game in which they led by, I think it was 8 at halftime last year in the first round, ended up losing that one.
Well, and here's the thing, too, and I think we mentioned this at the beginning. Highland didn't sneak up on Bountiful. Bountiful was well aware of what Highland's capable of. And not only that, Bountiful came out and showed, hey, we know who you are. We're not letting this happen. And then Highland got going. and at that point, to me what's even more impressive is Bountiful battles back to take the lead 42-40. And then normally what happens is that team shrinks and goes away. No, Highland came back. Just
look at the second and fourth quarters. Highland had the scoring advantage, 24-16 in the second. And in the fourth, it's 22-13, and they're going to go back to the line here. I mean, real 8-point advantage in the second and a 9-point advantage in the fourth.
Yeah. I mean, just when they need to get it done, it's impressive. I mean, Coach Boyce, it's what they do. And here's the amazing thing for him, and I want to bring it up to him. I can't wait to do it now on Thursday. He did it without Elijah Shelton. I mean, he still had Leaky McCowie, but no Elijah Shelton.
Well, here's the remarkable thing, really. I mean, Jackson Haas has just shown up.
Yeah.
And not to, say that he hasn't had, a good year, but for me, when I'm going through this lineup, I'm like, all right, you got to limit the rich shooters, and you got to take care of Leaky McCowie, and McCowie only had 14, and Christian had 14. It was Jackson Haas, and him winning the matchup against Brig Willard in this game, that's really the difference in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, this changes a few things, because it's really what it is in the top part of this bracket. It feels like, not to minimize the next game, the collision course to Olympus. But full timeout on the floor.
Yeah, we'll take it with them. 20 seconds, we'll be back with a conclusion. $20 seconds left. And I mean, I will tell you this. The thing that Corner Canyon will have going for them tomorrow that Bountiful will not, it's one thing to talk about it in a locker room. It's another thing to see it play out 2 days before you get them.
Right.
The whole Corner Canyon team is right over here to our right. They're watching this very thing. That helps it hit home much easier than tape in a team room.
No, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And it's something you point at and say, hey, this is, you guys already know this. This was you last year if you didn't wake up in the locker room.
Yep. Olval going to come off the floor, and he's got another game to get ready for. 71-60, and that just kind of encapsulates this ball game for Bountiful, as it's just lost. They're going to foul Haas, and they're going to let him just keep scoring. 2 free throws coming up for the senior Jackson Haas. And the Highland hecklers got some heckling I'm sure they'll be doing. A game that not many gave them much of a hope in. And they are going to pull off the improbable upset in the first round.
I love the Olympus fans. Can't wait to get to their seats.
Yeah, they're like pushing Bountiful out. They're like, hey, the game's over. Get out of here. Stevenson, one more heave from 3. That's no good, and McCowie ends up with the ball in his hands. The Highland Rams once again play spoiler in the first round, knocking off the Bountiful Braves 71-60. Dusty, your final thoughts on a player of the game?
This is just such a great job by Highland and what they were able to do. Mike said it's the stick-to-itiveness of this team that's impressive, and player of the game has got to be Haas. Haas made all the big plays today, but what a win for Coach Boyce and the Rams.
Man, a huge win. Sets up a really great quarterfinal. It'll be Highland and Corner Canyon, the final score. Once again, the Highland Rams 71-60. They knock off the Bountiful Braves behind a great effort from Jackson Haas and crew. For Dusty Litster, Bill Francis, my name is Dane Stewart. Thank you for joining us. We've got the next game in this first round, Olympus and Woods Cross, coming up next on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. That tip set to happen in about 16 minutes. We'll be here all day from the D Event Center in the first round of the 5A state tournament.